welcome to the Bitcoin Rush Hour. I'm just doing a quick Bitcoin Rush Hour today because I'm not leaving Point Loma. I'm actually going to stay in Point Loma with our family. It's our family dental day. So, couple things. If you bought over the weekend and kind of was hoping that as the dip occurred that it was only a dip and it would recover, then you guessed right and you bought your Bitcoin at a discount and it paid big time today. So that's exciting. Also, a couple other things that have happened. Bitcoin has gone up as high as 17,600, I believe. Aaron, you're on the line and you look at some exchange prices. What did you see today? Also, a couple things. It was the first day of Bitcoin trading as a futures. And I'd like to explain that on the call if I have enough time before I get to the office of my dentist about what futures markets look like in the stock world and hopefully also in the Bitcoin world. And it stood the test of time, and so that's really promising and really incredibly awesome. Also would like to explain a little bit about the process that I go through to, again, grow my amount of Bitcoin that I have on a weekly and daily, if possible, daily basis. And so with this, let's go ahead and start the Bitcoin Rush Hour. So one thing that I would like to cover real quick is what a futures market looks like. Futures market is exactly what it sounds like. It's a predictor of what the trend of that particular item will look like. And there was a potential today that Bitcoin could have hit a bearish market had the market not gone in there, and I believe probably gone in there and stated that Bitcoin would be worth a lot more coming up in the next few months. I bet there was a lot more calls, and a call is something that says the value of something will become more valuable over time, and then closer to the mark of where it's at, if it's much more calls than puts, I'll get into the puts in just a minute, the calls end up hitting a lot more and more expensive as time goes on, and it raises the barrier of entry for that. So that's usually a positive thing for things to go up. A put says the bubble will burst, basically. And the bubbles that we're talking about is what people say is in a bubble. I believe that we haven't realized the value of Bitcoin is why we're raising so quickly. And so it would hit and people would say that it would be lower than that amount. Well, I can already tell by the indication of the community that their votes with their hard-earned money was that Bitcoin will continue to grow. That's why we see in a market today, yep, 17,500. CoinDesk is at, is that currently at CoinDesk? 16.5. Oh, well, that's probably, CoinDesk is usually a news aggregate. Are you talking Coinbase, Aaron? This is usually integrating with this call live information. Coinbase, maybe Coinbase, but CoinDesk is usually going to capture some thing and write an article about it. So, little sidebar with that. So the votes came in, and yesterday in the morning time it was only at 13,900. I bought some right when I saw it like that because I just have some USD staged up, and that's what I'd recommend everybody do that they want to get started. Wire transfer into one of these exchanges. I'd recommend, and the one that they're looking at, Aaron, anyway, you can go over to Gemini.com, the Gemini exchange. The futures market is actually comparing to the Gemini exchange. If you guys go over there, then you'll see what the futures market is basing its current value off of. Why is there so many different fragmented exchanges? Well, because Bitcoin, not just like the New York Stock Exchange, which is where something can be listed in one location, Bitcoin can be listed in any numerous amounts of locations. In theory, if you had enough currency, you could actually open up your own exchange and start out with your own currency, and then actually buyers and sellers could come in there and divide up your Bitcoin. So that's kind of exciting. We got some great things working on that. This is a couple things that I'd tell you about. This is what I currently do with my own income. I'm a working man Bitcoin collector, and it's getting very, very exciting, and I can tell you about that when you come on board and become a partner with us. But one of the things I like to do is thoughts on, you know what, I'm not going to do any, sorry Roland, I'm not going to do any altcoins. If you want to private message me, I can do some research and get back with you on altcoins, but mostly talking about Bitcoin on these ones, just to give you a heads up. So love to talk about some altcoins with you. In fact, I usually, and interestingly enough, my goal, Roland, just to give you a heads up, was to have 20% alternative coins and 80% Bitcoin The craziest thing is, oh boo, I got booed, oh well. The craziest thing with the altcoins is my portfolio didn't grow fast enough, so it's like my Bitcoin is skyrocketed, and it's really gone more towards more like 95% Bitcoin and 5% altcoins, because I set a certain amount of altcoin money set up just to see if I could catch the winning horse. And I do. And Roland, honestly, like, I have done a lot of research recently on alternative coins, so I'd love to have that conversation, even if you just booed me live. I love that. That's okay. It's good interaction. So, so one thing I will tell you is that my current way that I purchase even alternative coins is that I will take 10% of my earnings. I'll make sure that I tithe. For those of you that don't have like an affiliation with a church, there's you know, a wealth principle of giving away, or the charity of a certain percentage. I'm not going to get into what your own personal will be, but mine is a 10%. And then from there, what I do is I save another 10%, and the savings would go into a savings account at one time, and now that savings now goes to a wealth growing account that I actually put 10% away to stage up for buying on the dips, and it's better than any return that I could get off of a deposit, CD, and any other type of savings vehicle, and I've proven that time and time again, just by even just focusing on the headlines for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Then I have done one extra step with that. I buy something through a company, and you can private message me so I can help you get started and show you some videos of how this all works. But the company I work with actually returns around 1% capital per day until it's paid us back 140% of the amount that we put in, because they go out and use that money and they mine Bitcoin and other alternative coins. They trade, and they're experts in the alternative coin trading and Forex exchange. And basically they grow, and they give you, not on like the quarterly where you would get a quarterly dividend, they actually give you a daily dividend, and then you can reinvest the dividend. And so that's been incredible returns as well. And that's why, as you know, even though my focus was really about making sure that I have like an 80-20 balance, it's really turned into like a 95% Bitcoin and 5%, and it's not that I don't have a small amount in altcoins, but it kind of teases around that amount, especially on days like today where it goes bullish. And so, yeah, so I'd love to have you kind of take and poke and kick the tires on that company. Just private message me. Also, loving to get in that conversation with Roland and kind of talk about and looking into, Coinen. Okay, yeah, I've got a little bit of information on Coinen. I also have regularly people flip over on private message me for alternative coins, but you know, I'm going to pause because I have actually arrived at my appointment location out here in Point Loma. I didn't leave the area. It was a super short trip here. Family's end of year dental appointments, all 5 of us today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pop off. Go out there, get educated, take care, take charge.